This vodcast brought to you by Power9 Games.
Hi, welcome back to Frontier Gaming. We're doing the second part of our Game of Thrones Deluxe Expansion, Wolves of the North. I'm Matt.
And I'm Z.
And we're going to go ahead and jump in. We're doing the All Others factions, basically, all the non-start cards.
Yep.
So why don't you go ahead and jump us in there?
Yeah, sure. We'll start out with the Baratheon attachment, Motley. It's non-loyal and it's condition traded. It says opponent's character only. Attached character gains the Fool trait. And reaction after attached character is declared as an attacker or a defender. Discard one card at random from its controller's hand. So this is another condition attachment, so they can be moved by certain things like Maester Crescent, and it's a pretty good negative incentive for your opponents who use their like really powerful characters.
Yeah, if you're trying to hit their hand, that seems like a pretty good thing, and
yeah.
It's not terminal either. So
exactly. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
It'll get. I mean, when it gets removed by like a confiscation and stuff like that, it'll get put into the discard pile. But yeah, if they try to sack their character to get rid of it, you can just put it on someone else. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing.
Cool. All right, next we've got a 2-cost event for Baratheon, Evenhanded Justice. Action, choose a standing character controlled by each player. Kneel each of those characters.
So more kneel.
Yeah.
We talked about they already have a ton of kneel, but it's all kind of Rylor traded. So if maybe in the future, if Rylor is if there's an incentive to play non-Rylor cards in your deck primarily,
still get those kneel effects going.
You can still get some kneel stuff. But I think currently the Rylor stuff's incredibly powerful, and so this probably doesn't make a slot because
the fact it's a 2-cost card, it's taking up space in your deck, and then it's kneeling one of your own guys. It seems like a lot of downside. Yeah. But I mean,
and those 2-cost events tend to kind of weigh themselves down in your hand because it's tough to get them out. So,
but maybe for the right deck.
Yeah. All right. Next up, onto the Greyjoys. We get a non-loyal character, Fish Whiskers. He's a 5-cost, military power, and 3 strength. He's got the House Botley and Ironborn traits. And he says, while Fish Whiskers is attacking, if there are more winter plot cards than summer plot cards revealed, each defending character does not contribute its strength to that challenge.
Super cool.
Yeah, just incredible. It basically you auto win that challenge.
Yeah.
If it's winter, like it's insane, and it's unopposed because they don't contribute any strength. It's just really, really good.
Yeah. No, I really like that we're seeing. Well, with this set especially, all the traded winter and summer
we
things,
get to see the plot effects kind of controlling the winter and the summer. It's gonna be really cool, I think. And I played against this character yesterday, and 3 strength is pretty bad. I was able to Dracarys him through 2 Risens from the Sea because like just the amount of like strength reduction effects you can do. So he's definitely appropriately strength, I think, for how powerful his effect is.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to keep him protected from those Targaryen players.
But like if you can keep him on the table, just basically winning a challenge automatically every turn is incredible.
Yep. All right, another Greyjoy 0-cost event, Ahead of the Tide. Interrupt. When you compare initiative, your revealed plot card gets +3 initiative until the end of the phase. If you win initiative this phase, draw 1 card.
Really good.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot.
It's non-loyal, so like anyone can play it. 0-cost event. You just throw it down when you want to win initiative and draw a card. Like you just get to cycle it and win initiative. It's really good.
I think this might open up some plot options for the Greyjoys too, because they usually want to be going first, so maybe they want to play those high initial ones. Maybe now you can play around with some of the other ones that might be a little bit lower that are iffy. And
there's a new plot in here that this is going to be have amazing synergy with, so really, really good. All right. We got a Lannister character, Crossroads Sellsword, 3-cost, military, and intrigue icons, and then 2 strength. He's a mercenary. And it says, interrupt. When Crossroads Sellsword is killed during the challenges phase, gain 2 gold. So just a solid 90 new character.
Yeah. No, I like the flavor on this one, too.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for mercenaries that are dead.
Exactly. And he's got the awesome Braun art from 1.0. So just really, really cool art here. And just a solid 90 new character with solid icons.
Yeah. Fits in just about anywhere you could use them.
Yep.
Cool. Next we have a location for Lannisters, 3-cost, Tower of the Hand, King's Landing. Reaction: after you win an intrigue challenge, kneel Tower of the Hand and return a participating Lannister character to your hand to choose a character with lower printed cost controlled by the losing opponent. Return that character to its owner's hand.
Insane. So strong. With all the ambush floating around in Lannister right now, you just bounce their guy and play your guy again if you want.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the ambush costs are more expensive than their printer costs, so you're not getting like exact value, but they don't get to play their guy immediately, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, and if you got somebody that's like doing a Stark power grab type thing and just bounce them back to the hand, I'll lose all that.
Yep, and yeah, it's just really good. Like having access to the event that bounces people pretty much all the time.
Oh yeah,
and substituting the gold cost for replaying a character is, I think, a really good effect.
Yeah.
All right, on to Martells. We got here Quentin Martel. He's a knight and a lord, 6 cost, military power, and 4 strength. It says, while you are not the first player, Quentin Martel gets +1 strength and gains stealth. Mm-hmm. And interrupt: when Quentin Martel is killed, choose and kill a character with lower strength than his. Oh, and he's non-loyal. So gross.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, just classic Martel here. I lose something, you're going to lose more, probably. Yeah.
Little 6, I don't know, do you think?
Appropriately
costed?
I think he's appropriately costed for his effects.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5 strength and stealth when you're not the first player, and you're very often trying to be the second player as Martel.
Right.
It's a really good effect. I mean, it's similar to Arya that we saw earlier.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, though. If the other opponent doesn't have any lower strength guys, do you have to kill one of your own guys?
It's not forced, so you can
that's right. No, it is an interrupt, so disregard.
Yeah, you can choose. You can always choose not to trigger your effects. It's not a forced interrupt. But yeah, you are correct that if you're like, I'm going to do this, and then yeah,
at least pay attention to it. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, he's. I mean, he is expensive, so throwing away a 6 cost character because you're probably not triggering this unless they do some targeted kill to get him off the board, because he has an incredible body for 5 strength and stealth with those icons.
Stealth is always nice. Yeah.
So I wouldn't give up stealth easily, especially when I paid $6 for it. So.
All right. We got a Martell event now, 0 cost. His Viper Eyes. Reaction: after you lose a military or power challenge as a defending player, look at the winning opponent's hand, then choose and discard 1 card from that hand. Yep.
This is just more classic Martell effects.
Yeah, no, that's great. You're even intriguing during your military and power, too.
Yeah.
And then you're actually getting to pick a card, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and the way they've kind of geared 2.0 Martell is very late game focused, so getting card advantage in those later turns with discard effects like this is going to be really very powerful. You want to keep their resources low so that in the late game you can trigger your Oberon and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, next up's a Night's Watch character, Stone Snake. He's a ranger, and he's 5 cost, military icon only, and 4 strength. He has stealth. It says, reaction: after Stone Snake bypasses a character using stealth, choose one of that character's keywords. Stone Snake gains that keyword until the end of the phase, and he's non-loyal.
I think this guy's pretty cool,
Yeah,
and
good.
I
So
totally
good.
want to draw an eye patch on him and yell at him if
Yes.
he leaves the board
Yes,
in a panicked manner.
Yes, but I mean, his ability is incredible.
Super good ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
This is exactly the kind of offensive character that Night's Watch wants. Is
Mhm.
Doesn't have like the great icon spread that you need for the defense, but he goes out and like does an incredibly valuable challenge.
Yeah.
And probably by himself with stealth, he can and 4 strength, he can get a challenge done by himself. Yeah, he's just gonna be very strong.
Yeah. Be careful, though, because he is one of the few Night's Watch that doesn't have no attachments. So
Yes.
he might be a big target for
That's
the milks
correct.
that are just sitting in their
Yeah.
hand waiting for a target. But
For sure.
but still, not bad. He's still going to be
Yeah.
a
And he-
4-strength military.
Yeah, he's he's just gonna disincentivize them to attack you very much if they got to defend this stealth challenge that's gonna like take your insight and give it to him. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, next we have Night's Watch location, 1 cost. The Shadow Tower, the North. Reaction: after you win a challenge, the defending player kneel the Shadow Tower to choose a character controlled by the losing opponent. That character cannot be declared as an attacker this phase. Okay.
This is a good effect. It's got good synergy with the wall.
Yeah.
But the Night's Watch have a lot of really good locations, so...
Yeah, this is, more non-gold producing locations, so yay.
I think
but
you possibly want this if you're going to go like all in on like the turtle up and defend for 12 turns and win strategy with the wall.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that you might not want to include too many copies of this because it might dead your draw a little bit.
Yeah, this might be maybe a one
or two. Maybe,
yeah.
I think if you're playing the event lets you go fetch locations, this is probably a one of.
Yeah. I mean, and you're usually, as watch, pretty well guaranteed at least one good defensive victory.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty easy to trigger the effect and then get rid of his, mountain or whatever so he can't attack.
Yep. It's similar to the Martell effect where they lose a challenge and then get rid of some icons. You have to win a challenge and then you just get rid of a character, which it's harder to do, but a more powerful effect.
Okay.
Next up, we got Targaryen, Aggo, 5-cost, military, intrigue, and then 4 strength. He's a Blood Rider and a Dothraki.
More Blood Riders.
He's a non-loyal, and it says, action, if there is a summer plot card revealed, choose and stand a Blood Rider character. Limit once per round. The limit here is really important because this effect is incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The Blood Riders are characteristically very, very strong, powerful card effects that synergize really well with each other. Obviously, this has incredible synergy with.
So getting another go at it seems like a good idea.
Yes, for sure. Some in 1.0, some of the effects were like draw a card for every Dothraki character you have participating, which probably isn't going to be replicated in 2.0, but.
They need the help, the Targaryens are kind of struggling right now.
Those kinds of things. So incredibly strong effects, and if you can get 2 goes at it, it's going to be really, really exciting. So, I think this is the second of the 3 Blood Riders we've seen so far. So I'm really excited for the third.
Cool. All right, let's just skip this next card and go on to the next. No, I'm super excited for this.
Yeah.
So Dragon Sight, 1-cost event. Action, each participating non-dragon character gets -1 strength until the end of the challenge.
So good.
Yay, more strength reduction from Targaryen.
Yep, so this is a good way to just turn those Dracarys into 5s and your Plaza into 3s, or just in generally mess up the battle math of challenges really, really well. And it's non-loyal, so other factions can take it as well if they want.
Oh yeah.
Incredible card. I'm super excited. Probably gonna need to be very careful you don't put all of the events in your Targaryen deck.
Oh yeah, you want to still keep your good ratios.
Exactly. But a really, really good card. I think if you're going for the full burn, this is going to be one of the staples. All right. Up next is Tyrells with the House Florent Knight. He's a 5-cost, military and intrigue icons, and 3 strength. It's House Florent traded and Knight traded. So, Forced reaction, after House Florent Knight enters play, choose a character with the lowest strength in play and discard it from play. So we see why he's 5-cost here. He's got a pretty good discard effect.
Yep.
But it is forced, so unlike Quentin here,
right,
this could backfire, kind of leading you to not ever play him.
Yeah, it seems. Well, if you're running Knight heavy, which we've seen more and more shift towards that, I mean, it's good for killing out maybe some small folk. If you got some money lenders or something like that. The Tyrells got the strength buff, so if maybe you want to get this guy in play and you want to maybe kill a specific guy, you can buff strength of different characters in order to just targeted kill kind of. That sounds like a lot of jank right there.
Yeah.
But it's an option.
And using your very powerful strength buffing and standing effects in order to do this targeted discard thing. He is very expensive for low strength, in my opinion. So but he's got some sweet traits. So
yeah, for sure.
I think we'll more
specific builds in mind, and then there might be something that breaks it open later. But
I think we'll more commonly see him in Knight based decks because that's probably one of the strongest things on his card just out of the box.
Right. Okay. Got the Rose banner now. 0-cost event. Marshalling action. Choose a Tyrell character you control. Gain X gold, where X is the character's strength. Then sacrifice that character.
Here's another way you could buff the strength of your guys and then sack them to get a bunch of gold.
Yeah. I guess if you're expecting maybe a wildfire assault or something coming up.
Something like
you
that,
could thin out
Well,
your ranks maybe the next
It's
turn.
Marshal
I
in
don't know.
action, yeah.
It is
it's
Marshal.
a little far ahead. But,
Hmm.
if certain characters, you get your money back, basically. Like, they have strength equal to or higher than their cost, so you can kind of cash them out for their strength value. Or they have those guys that get +1 strength for each of the locations in play, so like those guys will often be much higher strength than their cost, and so kind of, and if like you don't necessarily need the big body, so you cash them out to like play like Olenna Tyrell or whatever.
I guess it's a sacrifice effect too. So if you happen to have a dupe in your hand,
sure, and it's non-loyal, so you can play this in Stark and sacrifice your Tyrell characters to maybe trigger some abilities.
Okay.
And Tyrells have, I think, a good icon spread to complement Stark, so I think maybe that's why we see it here.
Yeah, that could
box.
be.
Cool. So on to the neutral cards. Up first, we got Mance Rayder, King and Wilding. He's a 7 cost, all 3 icons, and 5 strength. And he is Renown trait, or keyword, and he says each Wilding character in your hand gains Ambush X. X is the card's printed cost. While there is a winter plot card revealed, reduce the cost to ambush each of your Wilding characters by 1. Incredible.
Yeah, no, it seems really good, especially if you're. I think we're seeing more and more Wildings now, kind of.
I'm sure this is going to be the start of kind of a Wilding, maybe the potential for a Wilding deck, maybe like out of another faction. Like,
right.
Say Stark has a Wilding in it, so maybe you play Stark Wildings kind of thing.
Yeah, no, makes sense.
That was a classic 1.0 archetype as well. So
then you can get some ambush in factions that may not have it typically.
I mean, you actually get to play your characters for 1 less cost, like just from your hand at any time. It's incredibly strong. Like being able to pass the marshalling phase, I think is a really good ability. So and he's just a huge character with all icons and renown. Like he's just real good.
Yeah, 7. It's gonna be tough to get him out.
Yeah.
But, you got a plan for it. Okay, next we have another Wilding. Neutral card, 3 character military, 3 cost character military, 2 strength, Young Spearwife. While you have less power on your faction card than an opponent, Young Spearwife gains stealth.
Could be pretty good.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense in the Stark box out of here, where their main power concentration is going to be on their characters, so having a cheap body with stealth.
Yeah, you're not going to be having so much power on your house necessarily, so you could get a pickup stealth.
Yeah,
for it. So
but, hey, a small body with stealth is not bad for the cost. So I think she is a little overcosted maybe for what she's doing, especially if say you have more power.
Maybe a 2 gold or
I mean, if she's maybe 2 cost ambush, then she's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, but I think against like the control decks, they kind of want to like make the game take longer and then do those big power grabs at the end. You're gonna not get a lot of value out of her. All right, next up we got a Maester. He's a House Maester. 2 cost, intrigue and power icons, 2 strength, and he's got the Maester trait, and that is it. So
nothing else.
Yeah,
just that.
Just 2/2 Maester.
Cheap and cheerful, just kind of a solid Bicon for 2, and then gets you that Maester keyword in case you.
I'm sure we'll see some Maester.
We've seen a little bit of stuff with the plot cards before to go fetch one out, and they've actually got one in this set. But
it was pretty big archetype in 1.0. I'm sure maybe we won't see it in as strong as it was, but I'm sure we'll see some.
Yeah, we'll see
cool
some
stuff.
synergies coming up.
Yep.
All right, so next we have a 1-cost location, Tourney Grounds. It's contested Westeros. Action, kneel Tourney Grounds to reduce the cost of the next event you play this phase by 1.
Yep, it's a pretty good economy card. Non-limited, which is nice. So
who runs so many events that they would like to reduce the cost on?
Oh man, I can't even think of a dragon-based faction.
No, of course not.
No, I think I really like a bunch of factions. Like the Lannisters, I think have a ton of offensive events they want to do.
Right.
Targaryens, obviously. Probably maybe the Baratheons as well. They have the Lanil stuff, so maybe this is a good way to.
Yeah, everybody's got something that they could probably use with this if you're going a little bit expensive maybe on the events, and then we talked about this earlier, where you may, keeping your gold in a pile might be broadcasting what events you might have in mind. So now you've got one passive kind of ready to go, so they might be throwing off their predictions a little bit.
Yeah, and you don't always have to use it. I mean, you don't get a lot of value if you're not using it like every turn, but if like it is a kind of intimidating, much like the having fealty. You have that like reducer that you can use for events all the time. This is a similar effect where like just kind of always on. So a good intimidation factor in addition to be a pretty decent economy card. All right, next up we got a neutral event here. Is Green Dreams. I'm sorry, it's an attachment. Green Dreams. It's terminal and it's a dream traded. It says reaction. After attached character is knelt, look at the top card of your deck. You may put that card on the bottom of your deck. And it's a 0 cost. So, I mean, a good way to draw filter if you maybe don't have a bunch of, like, extra draw effects. You can kind of, like, filter the cards you do get a little bit. Not bad.
Yeah, it seems really good with, like, with characters that might be wanting to kneel a lot, like original Sansa.
Sure, yeah.
You want to keep her knelt down, so you're getting an extra bonus effect out of it to thin your deck, get the cards you need. So
yeah, this is great in Stark with Sansa getting stood by her wolf and then kneeling back down a bunch of times. So yeah, you can get like check that top card a couple times. Maybe get rid of some stuff you don't need. Fish for economy maybe if you didn't get as much as you wanted.
Yeah, no.
So
it can help you out at a tight spot.
So it's a strong effect.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Maesters.
Yep.
From a few cards ago, but Healing Expertise, 0 cost event, Citadel, interrupt. When a non-army character you control would be killed, kneel a Maester character to save it.
Cool. Yeah. Maester aiming on a stick.
Yeah, well, except for Maester Aemon can heal armies.
Yes, yeah. He's much more powerful.
But, I mean, every faction's, I think, got some Maester in it at this point, so, and then we got the neutral one.
Yep, we got the neutral ones. If you're maybe playing a very like heavy on the unique characters you want to protect kind of thing, maybe this is a good effect. I think when we see that kind of the more focus on Maesters, this is an obvious include there.
Yeah, no, that seems like a good option.
Yeah,
and the fact that you get to keep it in your hand too, instead of like putting the bodyguard out where they have a chance to get rid of it. Yeah, this is just like aha.
On the other hand, though, like you are going to be holding this event that maybe you couldn't
never
get your
comes
Maester
up.
out. Yeah.
If you don't get the Maesters, then
this is just kind of dead. But
So then you put in the plot to go fish one out, and then you're just building your entire deck around this one card for no reason. So
All right, next up we got an event. Tithe Action, kneel a neutral character to gain 2 gold. And it does not say your neutral character, so this is great.
That's interesting. Yeah.
This reminds me of there's a lot of like refugee and mercenary hate back in 1.0 where kind of like you had these like kind of like fluff wise like treacherous characters, and then your opponent could kind of get advantage out of that, and so this is kind of a way to do that. It's like you got a neutral mercenary over there, so I'm gonna take some money from him type of thing.
Yeah, I think probably going forward as we see more neutral characters, maybe some of them get like Sirio?
Yeah.
That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's got a kneel to pass on his effects to
you can
Daenerys.
kind of counter that kind of yeah, exactly.
Okay, so maybe buys you a turn, gets you a little gold. But if that indeed works, I have to go back and look at the cards. But
I think Sirio's effect doesn't prime from kneel. But
okay.
But yeah, things like that are going to be very powerful. Like
But something to keep an eye on. Look for those neutral cards that you can exploit.
Yeah. And 2 gold is great, so I think the downside is if your character's going like all in on their like fealty or something like that, you're not going to get a lot of value out of this. So, but it is there. So, next up onto the plots. We got a Fallen from Favor. It's a 7 cost, 7 initiative, 1 claim, and 7 reserve. It says, and it's an edict type plot. It says when revealed, sacrifice character you control. So more
great sacrifice effects for those Starks that we were looking at previously.
More emphasis on it, I think, on cashing your characters out, basically, like getting some short-term value out of a character is. Well,
if you got Caitlyn, there's some long-term value.
Yeah, exactly. So the Starks are about extracting extra value, and then the kind of non-Stark stuff in here is being like, hey, you get this quick benefit.
Get a ton of gold, a ton of initiative, and
It's an incredibly
7
well
reserve,
statted
too.
event.
Yeah.
It's pretty strong. So I think if you got a lot of chuds in your deck, maybe this is in there for some economy.
We prefer small folk. Or chuds. Cool. All right. Now we got Snowed Under. Plot 5 gold, 0 initiative, 1 claim. Winter. So we got that winter trait.
Sweet.
Treat the base initiative value on each revealed plot card as if it were 0.
Really good.
There you go.
And so here's that synergy with the Greyjoys.
Yeah.
Multiple synergies, both with Whiskers and that event here.
Yeah.
Obviously with the Starks already. And sometimes you just want to flip for initiative, you know? Just maybe you have less power, and this is a good way to like guarantee the initiative if they don't have any bonuses or anything. So
yeah,
it can be strong.
I think Greyjoy's got more than enough ways to get bonus initiative, so they'd probably be winning that contest
I think
anyways.
They really like this plot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, next up we got the Long Winter. It is also winter traded. It's a 4 gold, 2 initiative, 2 claim. When revealed, each player without a summer plot card revealed discards 1 power from a card he or she controls, and it's reserve 4, plot deck limit 1, which is important because this thing is amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that it hits renowned characters, possibly.
Yes.
Yes. It doesn't, if they don't have any on their card, if they got all the characters, I could still get one from there.
This plot I think is almost auto-include if you're playing winter-based stuff.
Yeah.
Even if not, like this is just an incredibly powerful plot. It's really strong. Two claim is great, and with getting as much gold as you do, and getting rid of it.
And the chances of hitting against a summer card is probably pretty low right now.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to be very interesting about these winter and summer based plots is instead of like play and counterplay with like card effects and just like maybe getting shut down if you don't have all the right cards to get it off. Now you can kind of play this kind of like guessing game, like is he going to play summer plot? Am I going to get shut down here? Like that kind of thing, and you get to try each turn instead of maybe getting shut out for the rest of the game, especially if your deck's like has a bunch of effects based on it. So I think that's a really important piece of this whole winter summer thing is that you don't get shut down if you maybe build your deck around it. So
okay. Next we have another plot. Song of Summer, 5 gold, 3 initiative, 1 claim, summer card. While there are no winter plot cards revealed, each character you control gains +1 strength.
It's pretty good. 5 gold, 6 reserve, summer trait. So I think this is going to be a staple in summer decks. I'm sure we'll see more like long winter type summer cards, some more like incredibly powerful things in the factions that want to play summer. Starks are not typically a summer faction, so maybe when we get
your Targaryen,
we'll get a Targaryen box with some really cool summer plots, hopefully. So very exciting. This is great. This is still and even if you're not playing summer, like this is just a pretty good card.
Yeah,
like you don't have to be playing around the summer trait to just get value.
Just get
out of
+1 strength. Yeah, good. Who doesn't want that?
Cool. Next up, we got Weapons at the Door. It's an edict plot. It's 3 gold, 9 initiative, and 1 claim. It says forced reaction. After the challenges phase begins, return each card with a printed attachment card type to its owner's hand. Plot deck limit 1, 6 reserve. This is really strong. This is a really good alternative to confiscation.
Yep. So
yeah. And depending on how many attachments your opponent's playing, this could like force them to discard a whole number of cards.
Yeah, no, because they're all going back to their grip. So if their reserve isn't very high, if they have an equipment or two, maybe a bodyguard, some milks.
You got the Starks maybe playing a bunch of wolf attachments.
Oh,
and
sure.
like a bodyguard or something like that, and then you bounce it off to the hand.
And it keeps that high initiative too for those factions that really need that. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cool effect. Balancing kind of the gold cost against the amount of cards you're removing from your opponent's table. I think. So
yeah, it could really foil their plans for the turn.
Yeah, it is kind of a silver bullet, so you may put in your plot deck and then kind of regret having it there.
Oh, why don't I have counting coppers?
It does have that high initiative as an alternative effect you can get value out of. So.
Okay, it brings us to our last card, Ranger's Cache, 3 gold, 0 initiative, 1 claim, Kingdom and Winter. It's got a 6 reserve. Interrupt. When the taxation phase ends, either draw 2 cards or gain 3 gold.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like that you can bank some gold up for next turn. It's a little bit, a little famine the current turn because you're only getting that 3. But
I think this is a good way to have like a really powerful second turn as opposed like a lot of people will characteristically like front load their first turn. You got the setup and then you got a big plot first turn, kind of load the board out.
A big character coming out next turn, maybe you need to prepare for him.
Maybe this turn you're gonna throw down like your reducers and all that stuff and like get kind of ready, maybe get some weaker characters out on the table just to kind of like keep the board state in a certain way, and then next turn just dump your big guys out
or if you got good board control but you're getting a little lean on cards, I mean there's some flexibility there. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you don't have to choose until the taxation phase ends. So
how'd that turn treat you? You need gold next turn, or oh my goodness, I got
like you have
intrigued to death. Cersei went ham, and now I need some cards.
Yeah, you got good control of the board. You don't really need to play a bunch of characters, so I'm gonna play this kind of weak plot and then see what we need to do next turn. Yeah, that's really a lot of flexibility here. This is one I don't think you will regret playing in your plot deck. I think
just because you'll always find something useful to do with it. But cool. Well, that is everything for the all the other houses that come in this. First deluxe expansion for Game of Thrones. But
it makes me really excited for the other boxes because you'll get a really like cool like kind of thematic and around certain effects and stuff for like your main faction, and then all the other factions kind of have these cool like things that build on that a little bit. Maybe for a lot of non-loyal cards, so things that complement if you're going to play certain other factions with the stuff. So
there's definitely good stuff for the other factions too. So don't feel that you're just wasting money because you're not playing Starks or whatever. But
you'll get value out of the non-loyal Stark cards here. You'll get a ton of value out of these neutral cards and these other faction cards. Right. It's a really good way to set up a box because they're not going to rotate out ever. We're not going to look at rotation until much later in this game's lifetime. But it is cool that how they've built kind of this box because they know it's going to be there for the whole time.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what the other boxes look like too. As you said,
and it's a really good way to introduce the winter and summer effects because they're really really cool effects. They're very characteristic of 1.0, and I'm very excited to see them back how they are. So
cool. Well, we hope you enjoyed the video. Please give us a share, like, subscribe, and if you have any comments, please leave them below. But otherwise, we'll see you again next time.
See you guys.
Bye.